Do some problems now. I am on page 393. We're going to do monitoring progress 1 through 9. So here we go. First thing first, always look for the greatest common factor. So I'm going to write everything down here so I have a little more space. Okay, so the greatest common factor for number 1, let's see. Could it be 8? Can I take an 8 out of there? Yes, I can, and yes, I can. And no variables. Let's factor out an 8 first. What's left is x squared minus 7x plus 6. Okay, it's a trinomial. A is 1 here, so then I can use my normal diamond problem. I'm going to put 6 up here and then negative 7 here. What two numbers multiply to positive 6 but add to negative 7? That would be negative 1 and negative 6. Perfect. So this would be x minus 6 and then x minus 1. And that order doesn't matter. You can also write it as x minus 1 times the quantity of x minus 6, as long as the negatives are in the right place. Okay, let's move on to number 2. GCF. Is there a GCF here? No, there is not. And you may want to have your calculator ready so that you can check this. Now, I showed you in the last video to multiply A and C together, but that's going to come out to be a really big number. So let's try a guess and check method here. So I'm going to write out the factors of 14. So it's going to be either 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. And the factors of 15, which is going to be 1 and 15. Okay, so now we're going to use a guess and check method. All right. Luckily, it's addition and addition, so these two are going to be addition. All right, so let me put x here and then 14x here. So I'm going to try this first pair. And I'm going to put 1 here and I'm going to put 15 here. Okay, now let's check my smile. Like I said, 1 times 14x is 14x. X times 15 is going to be 15x. When I add those together, I get 29x. Is that 31x? No. So this one does not work. So let's try it again. Let's use 2 and 7 this time. Oh, for 15, it's also could be 3 and 5. Sorry, missed that one. Okay, let's do 2 and 7. So I'm going to put 2x here and 7x here. Add them together because it's plus plus. And we'll still use, let's try 3 and 5 this time. 3 and 5 here. Okay, let's check our smile. This makes 21x. This makes 10x. Oh, look at that. When I add that together, it makes 31x. Yay. So we only had to guess and check it twice to get our correct answer. I'm going to give you a little bit of a clue. When you're doing the factors of it, it's sometimes I like to really start with the middle terms. What I mean the middle terms is if I were to write out all these factors, I'm not using the end terms. I'm using the ones that are like in the middle. All right, let's move on to number 3. GCF, no GCF. Okay, A here is 2. So I'm going to do the method that we learned. I'm going to multiply those two together. So let me write it out, and I'm going to put 10 here. And we'll put negative 7 here. And we're not going to forget to divide that 2 out. Okay, what two numbers multiply to 10 and add to negative 7? Well, that would be negative 2 and negative 5. And remember to reduce when you can. So this one becomes negative 1. So now I can write my double parentheses. This first one will be x minus 1. And this next one, remember that 2, that becomes the leading coefficient. That will be 2x minus 5. We will always check to make sure it's correct. So negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. X and negative 5 makes negative 5x. Yes, that makes negative 7x. Perfect. Okay, moving on, number 4. Again, I'm going to take A, I'm going to multiply it with C. That's going to give me positive 24. And then I get negative 14 here. Again, don't forget to divide out that 3. What two numbers are going to make positive 24 and then add to negative 14? Well, it's definitely going to be 2 negatives. So let me try. Is it going to be negative, let's try negative 6 and negative 4. When I add those together, does it make negative 14? Nope, that makes negative 10. So not those two. Okay, let's try another one. Negative 11, sorry, negative 8 and negative 3. Does that make negative 14? No, it does not. Okay, let's try another pair. Oops, sorry. Close out of that. And undo those. Okay, so let's try negative 12 and negative 2. Does that make negative 14? Yes, it does. Okay, can I reduce this one? Absolutely. That would be negative 4. I'll write it down here. So now I can do my 2 sets of parentheses. I'll do the first one here, which is going to be x minus 4. And this next one, the 3 is going to be the leading coefficient in front. It's going to be 3x minus 2. And let's check. Negative 12x, negative 2x makes negative 14. Perfect. Let's move on to number 5. GCF, no GCF. Leading coefficient, yes, we need to multiply that over. So this is going to be negative 20 here, and that's going to be negative 19. And I'm not going to forget that 4. 2 and 10? Nope, won't make 19. 4 and 5? Nope, won't do it. Oh, 1 and 20, yes. 1 and 20, but one of them has to be negative. And since this is negative 19, I'm going to make this one negative here. Because when I add 1 and negative 20, it makes negative 19. This one I can reduce to negative 5. Okay, now we do our parentheses. Remember here, the 4 goes up front. So it's going to be 4x plus 1. And this one's going to be x minus 5. And let's check. This makes 1x. This makes negative 20x. And that makes negative 19x. Perfect. That middle term. All right, number 6. GCF, no GCF. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it over. And that's going to get to be, a larger number, right? But let's see, do I really want to do that? Or let's do it the same way as we did as number 2. Let's try that. So instead of multiplying it over, we're going to do the middle terms. All right, let's try that. So 1 and 6, and then 2 and 3 for 6. Let's try 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And 1 has to be a negative. Oops. So let's try that. Okay. Let's try the middle terms. So we'll try 2x and 3x. All right, which one do you want to try? 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Well, one of them has to be negative. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little trick here. So let's see. Let's try 2 and 6. So 2 and 6, and let's just make the 6 negative. All right, let's check it. This makes 6x. This makes negative 12x. Oh, not even close to 1x. So that's not going to work. Okay, let me try it again. So instead of 2 and 6, let's try 3 and 4. That one here. So we'll try 3 and 4. Okay, here. Oh, 1 has to be negative. So we'll make that positive and this one negative. So you're really just guessing and checking here. So this would be 9x. This would be negative 8x. Oh, look at that. When I add that together, it gets to be positive 1x. So I only have to do that problem twice. And sometimes you have to do it a few times. But as long as you know your factors, you should be fine.